Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our podcast. I'm Chris, joined by my brothers, Adam
Hello.
and Eric.
Hello.
We're back in the room once more to give our take on video games. And in this week's episode, we've got two main topics. One of them being Gamescom, which happened last week. There was the opening night, and there was lots of reveals and lots of announcements and lots of trailers. And so we'll be talking in general about some of the ones that caught our eye or didn't catch our eye, maybe, and just giving our general thoughts on some of the stuff they're shown. And then in the latter half of this episode, we're going to be having a spoiler talk on Iki Island, the expansion in the Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, which we talked non-spoiler about last week. So now we're going to get into the spoilers of the actual story of that particular expansion because we've all finished it. So we're going to talk Gamescom first because it's more general. More people will be able to listen to that segment of the conversation because it's just about announcements and things and our thoughts on stuff. And then we'll give the spoiler warning before we get into Iki Island in case you're someone that hasn't played it yet or really wants to keep that a surprise for yourself. Maybe that's a game you're hoping to pick up later on. However, if you've played it, then great, welcome to the discussion. And if you don't care and just want to listen to three guys talk about Iki Island and more Ghost of Tsushima stuff, then welcome to the discussion. If at any point you want to join in on the discussion and you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to jump down into the comments and share your own thoughts down below. Or if you're listening to audio platforms, you can also touch base with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take, to give your take on everything we talk about today. You can also support us by following the podcast, or again, if you're watching this on YouTube, give this a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and click that notification bell so you know when future content comes out. But without further ado, let's talk about some gaming. Okay, so let's start with Gamescom, because that's more general. Everyone can listen to us talk about Gamescom. How much stuff did you check out? How did you feel about it? I don't know. Like,
I didn't get around to watching it from beginning to end.
Sure.
I was just because of the way I was working and everything, because of other stuff I had to do. I just kind of like, right, it'd be easier for me to just watch just the game and trailers, just to get the main kind of gist of what they're releasing.
Mm-hmm.
There was so many trailers that I was getting to a point where I was like, is this even Gamescom, or did just loads of people release things at the, and they were all
right.
they all like for I think about an hour maybe. All right, like not all an hour in one go, but an hour just in general. There was a lot of indie games.
There was a lot of indie games.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen in all the time I spent watching game trailers and gameplay yokes. I can't remember if I saw a AAA game because there was that many.
See, there was a lot sprinkled into the Xbox live stream. There was a lot sprinkled into the opening night live, which was like a big conference thing. And then there was just a lot sprinkled over the other days, and they were just thrown onto YouTube. But then there was even people that weren't part of it, but like they would just throw their trailer up on YouTube, but they would hashtag Gamescom at the same time, because why wouldn't you ride that wave, right?
It was really confusing, wasn't it? I thought it was.
It was weird that, to me, like the Xbox live stream was on the Monday or something.
Yeah.
Was it the Monday? And on the Tuesday was opening night live.
But then there was a pre-show, and then there was a post-show, and then...
Yeah, but I was like, but that's not the opening night, because the Xbox Gamescom conference was the first night. So that was the opening night.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
And then I was really fucking puzzled by Halo Infinite, which finally has its release date, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of stuff around that. I was like, why did Xbox not end their one with that, as opposed to throwing that into the middle of Gamescom? Like yeah. That is Xbox's big thing this year. Why wouldn't they? It was weird setup to me. Like, it was just the decisions that were made baffled me. The whole thing really baffled me.
Yeah, I just felt overall it was like very much a quantity over quality. Like, do we need to know every game announcement? Like all of them? Could you imagine if like Warner Brothers or Universal or whatever did the same thing for their films, like, or no, that wouldn't be, because that was just, they're just two different studios. But imagine every studio in the world just started like showing you all the shit they're making. Like, yes, it's great. I think the Future Game Show is a good spot for a lot of those game announcements. It seems to be more towards the indie and Steam and all that kind of stuff. So that's a great spot for it. But it's like, there's like, these should be better managed throughout the year, right? Because a lot of this shit we already saw, I thought. Like, we saw them in the summer. Some of them we even saw last year in the Game Awards. And even with E3, it felt like there's like too much shit. Like, there's like too much to pay attention to. And they could manage this better. Like, I think Jeff, because he's obviously involved with the Game Awards, E3, and this, should try and get all these people together and figure out, like, okay, so when is your announcement? Or when is the actual game coming out? Like, do you really need to be showing this 3 times a year? When's the best place for that, right? And what's your development like?
Is every game Deathloop now? You know, is like
yeah. Because it'd be great to get, like, okay, so you've got the Game Awards at the end of the year, you got the Summer Game Fest then, or E3, whichever you want to call that, and then Gamescom, and it's like, okay, so how far is this game in development, and when's the best point during that year to show this game that you have, right? Is there really any point in throwing a trailer for a game that's coming out in 2023?
No.
Like, is maybe show that next year or something.
Yeah,
like, I don't quite.
We've seen in the past as well, one game in particular, where they advertised it too early, and then by the time it came out, it was garbage and everyone hated it. So yeah, I think advertising too early.
That's happened a lot, isn't it? Like The Last Guardian.
Yeah.
For example.
Yeah, and even like there's some of them, like, well, even think about, I don't know, it changed over the years, but like Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember? Like that was
revealed.
Yeah, it was Versus 13 first, it was called.
Yeah.
And it was shown before there was a 13-2 even. It was like in conjunction with the whole 13 trilogy thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like 10 years later we get what that is, and it's like, it's kind of different now. and like everyone, it was terrible in a way, because not the game, I actually enjoyed that game, but it's terrible that the what happened was the expectation for everyone going and reviewing was 10 years in the making. Was it worth the wait? And it's like, this game is not 10 years in the making. It was like over 10 years. It has restarted about fucking 5-6 times. Like, but unfortunately, that was if something's revealed and then it takes that long before it actually gets into people's hands, I think there's always going to be kind of unrealistic expectations.
Yeah. Like, obviously games do take a while to make. We can see that, but it's just, you know, if you don't have anything to show, like, why show it? Anything can go wrong. Yeah, like, it's not as if, I don't know, are they trying to please, you know, the people who bought the stocks, or like, who are they actually advertising to here?
Steam. That's what they're advertising to, because pretty much every game I looked at was Steam.
Yeah, that's a lot of the future games
actually,
stuff, I think, isn't
it? And a lot of that stuff, do you think that's like, look at, maybe Steam did push it because they're like, we're selling a Steam Deck this year. We want to show off all these kinds of games that you're going to play on this handheld device.
I don't know, because I mean, the Future Game Show during the summer was that as well, wasn't it? It was a lot of, it's very Steam driven. I think it was just,
could be something.
I think it's just the PC platform in general has always been kind of missing a little bit. Their presence has been missing during all these different games festivals, and this is now an opportunity for them to have a presence. I think I see it more like that,
which is fair. And actually there was a lot more like, I think of all the studios or whatever, like Sony was the one that was really missing here in a big way, I felt. Xbox fucking are killing it this year.
What did you think of their show, though?
I mean, I wasn't crazy about it, but what I'm saying is, like, this Christmas, right? You look at last holiday season, PlayStation owned it. I don't care what anyone says, because their launch lineup mattered big time. And that actually did affect a lot of people's purchase decisions. They were like, Spider-Man and fucking Demon's Souls, fuck yeah. And then the thing that was supposed to launch on Xbox, Halo Infinite, was delayed with no sign of when it was coming, and everyone was really disappointed by that.
Mhm.
And obviously, yes, Game Pass was a huge selling point, but this holiday season, people can get their Halo Infinite, they can get their themed Xbox, they can get their themed controller. There's a lot happening. And now Game Pass has a lot more games on it. That's like, it's even a better time to get the Xbox Series X this year.
Yeah.
There's nothing for the PlayStation this holiday season. Like, I'm sure there's smaller games, but I can't believe
The
the
Horizon
like.
got delayed.
I know, like, don't get me wrong. I'm actually very sympathetic towards developers. Always have been. I totally understand if a game's not ready, it's not ready. I totally understand COVID has affected so many things. It's not a surprise to me. It's not a shock to me. But just as someone who's obviously a fan of games, there's the other side of me that is disappointed by a lot of the announcements that came. That wasn't the only one, but that disappointed the fuck out of me when they showed up and all they had to show us was it's been delayed. But they were like, they delivered it in such a way as like, we are now proud to announce, or we're like excited to announce that.
They were like, "You'll be happy to know," I think is how they started it.
Yeah, and it's like,
okay, all right.
I would have worded this differently, or maybe couple it with showing a little something.
Yeah.
There must be something else that can be shown, unless they've been told to hold off because there's a Sony event coming up or something. But I was like, are they not? Yeah, like they're being real. I don't know. Sony's been really fucking quiet lately.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the reason for these director's cuts. Really, like, maybe they've always been planning to do them, but perhaps these are just to fill the void a little bit.
I was also disappointed that the whole thing ended on, or at least that opening night conference ended on Death Stranding director's cut. Because don't get me wrong, I was quite excited for that. I think it looks cool. People have already played the bones of it though. I don't think you should end on that. If anything, I would have swapped around and ended on Halo, because that was more of a glory moment. It's like, we have a release date and there's a lot of stuff to come with it. But I would have liked a little surprise as an actual ending. I would have liked a little, I don't know, like part of me was like looking at Jeff Keighley there going, like, he had said before something about Hassan Karaman. Like, maybe we'll get this little abandoned reveal at the end of this, right? Like, maybe we will. But I was I was
have
hoping
that to look forward to, don't we?
Yeah, but that's not coming this year. Like, we might get a reveal for what the fuck you know what we'll get by the end of this year? The cancellation announcement that is not happening.
Yeah, the abandonment of abandoned. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like with the Death Stranding thing. So Jeff is obviously very excited about that. For him, that reveal was a big deal.
Yeah.
And I noticed on Twitter as well, there's like this little bit of a wink wink nudge nudge kind of tweets happening with that reveal trailer, like specifically towards the end. There's something with this, I think, and I don't really know what the fuck, like with the kind of Metal Gear Solid style infiltration and then the use of this big whale again. Like, what's the imagery of the whale all the time?
Do you not think it was just those are like little nods in there? Like, do you not think he's made a Metal Gear Solid themed mission that's just themed off Metal Gear Solid? It's like, here's just something for people that I know are fans of my work. Like, like I know that most of the people who picked up Death Stranding have played Metal Gear. So here's a little, like, I know you guys are going to really appreciate this, but I don't think he's like hiding any little secret announcements in this stuff, actually.
No, maybe not, but I just think that there's something. It's a bit on the nose.
Oh yeah.
So I just think there's something with, like, and everything in that Death Stranding trailer, by the way, everything is in that isn't new. Like, I've never seen any of that.
Oh, no, I get that and I appreciate that. But in reality, that stuff was shown in the last trailer.
Yeah.
And it's just been expanded on. So it was like further explaining the stuff. And I don't have any issue with that being shown at this thing. That's cool. It's great. And it was probably a highlight for a lot of people. Ending the conference with it was weird to me, though.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah.
That's all. Like, I think you should end on a real high note. And I don't know if that's the one to do it with.
Out of everything they've shown, I don't know what they could have ended with.
Of the ones they shown, I would have done Halo Infinite because people were waiting for that release date.
They were, but with the lack of campaign footage, we're
Yeah,
really
like don't get me
waiting for
wrong.
that. Like this game is coming out this year, and we still have no idea apart from the Craig meme. We have no idea what the campaign looks like.
I know, like I'm not saying
That's
that
weird.
the game is going to be amazing. I hope it is.
Yeah, I hope it is too. I think the multiplayer will be.
I would like to pick it up myself, but I'm just saying that of all the things, it's like at least it had something for people to be excited about. It's like, yes, I can get that this year. That's what I mean. Like it had a finality to it almost. Yeah. And also it's the themed Xbox to celebrate 20 years of Xbox and Halo. That to me was like a culmination type thing that if I was laying it out differently, I would have ended with that. I would have ended with a new reveal of something. But if you have, I don't know.
Yeah. You end up with the Cult of Lamb or Cult of the Lamb.
That was my favorite announcement.
That
was it really?
Oh
so
yeah,
good.
for the whole thing. That's definitely a game I'm picking up. That's my vibes all over it.
Yeah, it's pretty funky, pretty cool. I don't know if I liked the look of the gameplay is the only thing, but I liked the overall art and the imagery and the vibe. I like that. But I don't know if I like the look of the gameplay, to be honest. Like I think I could play it for about an hour and go, I've personally gotten as much as I can get out of it.
A Game Pass kind of thing, I think.
Which
would be great.
The Binding of Isaac. That's what it's like. It's like some people will play it until the end, and then most people will go like, "Yeah, I've tried this. It's horrific, and I won't sleep now." But thank you.
Satan's pretty cool. Yeah, it was kind of like that. Yeah, I don't know what excited me the most.
Sifu.
Sifu was great. Yeah, Sifu looks great.
Every time I see that, I'm just like, it's still not disappointing. I still don't know if I'll pick it up straight away.
Yeah, I get you.
But I still love the look of the gameplay, and we have a release date and everything, which is cool.
Why is everything coming out next year? I swear to God, I'm saying it now. Some of the games that are now supposed to come out next year are getting delayed to the following year. I swear to God, they're not all coming out next year.
It's just such a busy year now, isn't it?
It's too jam-packed that something's going to move.
Yeah.
Hogwarts Legacy is going to move to the following year.
This year is a bit fucking weird now, isn't it? It's like we're back in 2019.
Do you know what I would have loved for this to end with? But I don't know. They're either saving it for a Sony thing or they have nothing to show. I actually would have loved for this conference to end with, because last year we got a first look at Final Fantasy 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they said more to come 2021.
Oh, yeah.
If they ended with another little trailer that to say, here's what we promised. We've nothing else to show, but here's more about it, just to remind you that it's there.
That
would have been a cool thing to end with. Here's that. Yeah, the same one. The same one reorganized.
Yeah. It's in a different order.
Only we've introduced chaos into it.
Yeah, chaos. I need to kill chaos. But that would have been a cool one to show. But I imagine they're saving that for a Sony event.
I was really
pretty chaotic
by the amount of announcements have been gameplay to come in September, or gameplay more to show in September.
Right, because one of those,
there's a shit ton of them that said that. It's like
one of those is Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Midnight Suns. It's like
the gameplay is coming this week, actually.
So why wouldn't you just show it?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a way of like. Why not
show it here? It's like, why wait till September, which is literally just a week later?
Do a trailer and then just after the trailer do the gameplay.
It's such a confusing event that it was.
Is it in their minds? Is it a way of like hyping interest? That everyone then goes and checks out the gameplay because they're like, oh, I like these characters, but I don't know what the gameplay is like, so now I must go check out the gameplay. And you get everyone talking about it before they see it, and then sometimes there's something to be said for building hype.
I'm the opposite way around with that. Like if I I saw that trailer at the fucking what's it called, Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
And I was just like.
Listen to Metallica.
Well, yeah, it made me want to listen to Metallica and actually play the game. But when you see these type of trailers, like the Suicide Squad killing Superman one or whatever the fuck that's called, when you just see a cinematic trailer, I'm like, I don't know what this game is that this just makes me want an animated movie, maybe, but I have little faith in what this game is going to be now because I don't know what the gameplay is like. It's like as if you're trying to disguise it here.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Whereas
It's those kind of those old school like Blizzard trailers where you're like, this is the most amazing cinematic. It is a shame that nothing that they put out is going to look anything like this. Yeah. I do agree, but I have to say, actually, in the entire conference, it was probably one of the games that intrigued me the most. Like I would be curious. Obviously, the gameplay might be a deal breaker, but in terms of what they were talking about, and also the choice of characters, I was like, like Avengers are cool and all, but growing up,
there's
people like
really cool
Blade
cast
and
of
Ghost
characters.
Rider and Wolverine, the darker Marvel characters are always
not like that design for Ghost Rider.
The cooler ones. It's a particular run, though, I think. Like the guy, so I ended up watching the interview with the guy who's kind of the creative director on it. And it was quite interesting because Marvel wanted the guys who made XCOM to make a Marvel game. I actually, initially, when the trailer started, I thought it was one of those Marvel Ultimate Alliance games. Do you know those ones?
Yeah. It did look a bit like that.
And if nothing else, it feels like a spiritual successor to that kind of thing. But anyway, they came to the guys who are famous for making XCOM to say, we'd like you to make a Marvel game. But they didn't say which one. And this guy was like, oh, well, my favorite comic series was the Midnight Suns of the 90s. So that's the one I want to make.
Dope.
He was like, I'm really into that kind of dark gothic era of that particular Marvel story. Now, apparently, like Iron Man and Captain America, who are in the game or whatever, were never part of that run. So there might have been there was probably a case of we want these characters in there. Right. Which is like, well, okay, but this guy wanted to do like Blade and Ghost Rider and Doctor Strange and these darker characters, and then you make a character called the Hunter, who's your own personal superhero. Yeah. You form relationships with the characters around you, and you bring teammates out on missions. And to me, I can't wait to see the gameplay, but to me, that sounds like the Mass Effect formula.
Well, he did say tactical RPG, so I'm going to
tactical
assume
RPG.
It's a little bit more like
it's going to be like XCOM.
It's going to be
top
XCOM.
Down.
Yeah.
They said it's not the XCOM gameplay.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
I mean, of course, maybe.
Well, just consider, maybe not. But then that is also a worry for me because when a game studio tends to shift away from not what they're used to, right? Because like, generally you choose a game studio because of what they have established, their game engine, their the programming, the way they have it all running currently, is why you choose that studio to do your game. Mm-hmm. So when you look at something like Square Enix, right? You might think, well, they've got the Tomb Raider series. They're really, really well established doing these kind of open area single player narrative experiences. We want our Avengers game like that. And what do? They go and fucking make kind of like a Destiny style Avengers game, something that they're not used to. Mm-hmm. And it flopped. So I have a feeling it is going to be not bang on like XCOM, but very similar to XCOM.
Well, then let me park there for a second. Eric, would that not excite you? You love XCOM.
Yes, I do. But I feel like, see, with XCOM, it's you have the choice base and the sacrifice you have to make in warfare where your characters can die, these characters you can build an attachment to. But with Marvel, there's almost that sense of, oh, they're not really going to die, are they? Because it's Iron Man. He can't die. Or if he does die, you're like, well, hold on, that's Iron Man. He's not supposed to die. So it's like either way, there's no win situation there. And also, I just think with a superhero game, that kind of top-down turn-based wouldn't work as well with superheroes.
Right.
I was more excited by the mobile one. Did you see that?
Yeah, no, but I wasn't.
I downloaded it. I haven't tried it yet, but it just felt to me like that's more of the superhero style. Like, I mean, it's the third person action adventure, and it's like this is the type of game I would want from like Marvel. To me, in terms of the games, is a bit like the 40K games. For me, it's like, why are all these, like, why can't you just nail this? Right? The only Marvel game that seems to nail it right now is Insomniac's Spider-Man. But all the rest of them, they're just too disjointed, and there's many different types, and they don't feel connected. And it's like you've got such badass characters and lore, and you're just incapable of capturing that in gameplay.
Yeah, I think largely you're right. Like, I think what they tend to do is like, what if we made a this style game with Marvel characters as opposed to building the game around the Marvel character they're making? Like, yeah. So Insomniac took that like Rocksteady approach, and they were like, let's build the game around Spider-Man. And also they were obviously very inspired by what the PS2 Spider-Man 2 did in terms of swinging and stuff and having a playground. But they were very much like, the game mechanics in this game need to be stuff that captures Spider-Man's character and shit that he does.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I suppose if you're gonna make like an Avengers game, which is probably a huge task anyway, like similar way, like if you're gonna make a Justice League game, it's like, fuck, we can't even make a Superman game, never mind making a Justice League game, fuck that. But like, yeah, like think about things like, how the fuck do we build a game around the Hulk? Just take that for a second on its own. The challenge is there. The Hulk.
Yeah.
Who can smash anything. And that's literally his catchphrase.
Yeah,
Hulk
but
smash.
Yeah, but what you do
How do you
there
do
very easily, you should do Planet Hulk. That's
no,
it.
right, but if you're making an
if you're
Avengers
making
game,
Avengers
I mean,
game,
I've
an
only
Avengers.
isolated him for a second. Now you introduce everyone else. Like you would essentially need to build the game around each character.
Yeah.
To pull it off, which is why it was a huge ask, really. And personally, I think it was the wrong approach. But I don't know what the right approach would have been for those particular characters. Whereas, like, you could easily see someone making a Wolverine game where you build it around Wolverine's character, or a Daredevil game,
Wolverine's
or
Revenge,
fucking
man.
yeah, that was good fun. Or like a Punisher game. Do you know what's weird though? And like we were just saying a second ago, like that they kind of just take the characters and then put it into a style game. For me, that kind of worked with the X-Men fighting games. Even though it's like, it makes no sense. But like, do you remember like, was it X-Men
Evolution
Academy?
Next Dimension or something like that? Do you remember that one? The PS2 one?
Yeah.
And it was a fighting game, and it was like, this makes no sense. I don't know why Cyclops is fighting Nightcrawler right now, but this is a bunch of fun.
It kind of came from the Capcom versus Marvel days, didn't it? A little bit. It's just like isolating.
Yeah, it was arcadey.
The characters. I liked that game. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that was fun. So maybe they should do that with like Avengers. Just make like a fighting game. Like maybe go that Injustice route or something.
Seriously cool fighting game with just the Marvel catalog. Like the amount of characters you could do.
Holy shit, yeah.
You know, they could have their own tournament even. Like
did you guys hear that rumor that Injustice 3 might be Marvel versus DC?
I did actually, yeah.
As a fighting game. What would you think of that?
That could add more fuel to the fire.
Do you not think that would be like, it's like, yeah, actually, we've all been kind of waiting for this.
Oh yeah, but it will add more fuel to the fire.
I think. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's just I do genuinely think that Marvel has probably the more interesting characters when it comes to individual abilities and like how they look, and so for a fighting game, I think Marvel is more exciting to have. Because I never liked the Injustice games, so I don't know, the characters for me, I like them on a storytelling level, but I don't particularly like to play as them necessarily.
Traitor.
Go on, Eric. Kick his ass. Kick his ass with your point.
I do. I just think the Marvel characters are more flashy in a way.
Right. Yeah.
They just think they work.
How could you get more flashy than the Flash, Adam? Come on. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's like
It's in his name.
It's like, you know, one of DC's like top characters. Like you can't really do it without the Flash, right? But you could do
you can't.
You could do a Marvel one without the what's Marvel's equivalent, the Speedster or some shit like that. I don't know.
Quicksilver?
Right. Okay. You could leave him out.
You would leave him out.
You would leave him out because
100% you would.
Functionally, as a character in a fighting game, fucking sucks. Whereas
No,
you
but-
cannot leave the Flash out. It's like, so the Marvel equivalent in terms of hierarchy of the Flash? What would that be? Probably something like fucking Thor or something, right? In terms of importance.
Sure.
And it's like, well, that's obviously a better character to play as in a
Thor?
fighting game.
Yeah, I get you. He's gonna have more movesets. Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like I find a lot of the DC characters are interesting on a story level, but to actually play as them, they kind of suck.
Eric, what would you think about a Marvel vs. DC game while we're here?
I think it'd be pretty cool. It'd be interesting to see what they would do with it, and then it'd be interesting to see, yeah, like on a story basis, why are they fighting?
Sure. Yeah.
What are they fighting over, and who's the main villain? And then when it comes to like, this is probably where I would agree with Adam on the adding fuel to fire. It's like if you have Batman versus Iron Man, it's like who actually would win in a story concept? Because if Iron Man
versus Darkseid,
I mean, Darkseid would win. There's actually there's no debate there.
It depends. If Thanos has the gauntlet, he'd probably whoop Darkseid's ass.
Yeah, but then in that case, if you're giving Thanos his most powerful weapon, then Darkseid would have his most powerful weapon, which is the anti-life
Give him the anti-life equation.
Yeah, so that doesn't work, right? You have to have them both fighting each other without any of their allies. Just them.
Okay. Yeah.
Then Darkseid would just win.
Wouldn't it kind of just look like you're playing
biased.
as the same character with a different skin?
See, this is what I think as well, though. I would imagine that if you were to make this game, you actually have to think about the functionality of a character as a fighter in your game more, like, as well as balancing which characters should be in it. So, like, for example, you were saying there earlier, and in this case, it's pretty easy, but it's like the Flash has to go in there. So no speedster from Marvel is getting in this game because we have a speedster. Right?
Okay.
The Hulk is going in there.
Right.
We don't need Doomsday. We've got the Hulk. Like, their moveset would be too similar. So we don't need Doomsday. In that sense, you're kind of...
Fuck me, that's really eliminating a bunch of characters.
Yeah, but no, but you'd say that, but like, you would have to. Because how many fucking characters would you put in this? And then would it be just heroes, or would you have heroes and villains? Like, the roster is huge. Like, how would you
it is, yeah.
Like, would you do one hero and one villain from each main property? How the fuck would you balance it? Like,
well, you would Iron Man doesn't have good villains, so no.
You would absolutely have the Justice League as priority, and then you would have the Avengers as priority.
And then,
but like,
yeah, but so what about the X-Men though? Like, which one of them do you put in? And the Fantastic Four, like.
Well, the Fantastic Four is fine. You can have all four of them. That's okay.
All four of them?
All four of them.
Most fighting games rosters start off with something between 24 to 30 characters.
Right.
You'll fill that really fast.
Well, actually, what they could do, right, is...
Maybe we should have 50 characters.
I thought there would have to be.
Just all of them. Just put them all in. It's fine. No, what they could do is... You know, in Injustice 2, they have, like... You can play as Flash, but there's also a costume where he plays Reverse Flash, or there's Captain Cold, but then also skin. Yeah, Mr. Freeze. So it's like your
same movesets, different.
Yeah. So it's like the Hulk and the Thing would actually just be really similar. So you just change the Hulk into the Thing. You have a different voice actor for obviously the Thing and different lines recorded, but it's still going to be the same moveset.
So would it be a thing like, could you go all Tekken style where it's like if you push X, you've actually selected this character?
So it's Kuma, circle, Panda, kind of.
Yeah, that kind of thing where it's like you could actually swap out the skin. Essentially, you're playing as the character you like, but they have the same moveset. And so in that case, maybe Doomsday is in there. The Hulk, Doomsday, the Thing, and some other big brute.
Solomon Grundy.
They're the same moveset.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I could see Hulk and Abomination being two different options, but I think the Thing could probably have a different moveset than Hulk.
No, but that's just...
Yeah, but you gotta, like, it's just an example. You gotta try and cut... You can't have every character in there. You just can't.
No, you
can't be done.
You can't. Sure, there's a new character every day, isn't there?
This is it, like, and at this point as well, certain characters have become popular. It's like, maybe at one point, Black Panther might not have been a definite has to be in there, but now it's like, you gotta put Black Panther in there, like.
Yeah. But I mean, like,
you know what I mean?
Even if you did it like Slade, Wilson, and Wilson Slade, but they'd have to be the same. Like, you know, you just press X for Deathstroke and circle for Deadpool. Like,
but why? They've got different abilities. Deadpool has a healing factor.
They're the same fucking character.
They're not the same character.
Sorry, Deathstroke's better, but
you're just trying to anger people.
Yeah,
no one
people like you is
like that. About 0% of our audience even know what you're talking about.
But they're like, while Deadpool may have healing factor, you're not really going to implement that.
You could.
Why?
You could build up like a bar and then you press slowly a hotkey that gives you like a boost of health.
Right. So his I don't know. Okay. So one moveset. One thing is slightly different for Deadpool than is for Deathstroke.
Yeah, but if it's only a cosmetic thing, then you can't do that. Yeah, it would have to be separate characters.
No, but sure, when you're choosing that character, the lines and voice acting has changed. So
I know, but
they're still coding for it.
It's essentially a different character then.
That's not a different character.
You put that much work into it. Well, because when you think about it, when it comes to fighting games,
just don't give them the healing factor.
when it comes to fighting games, most of the characters are all based off of the one model anyway.
Do you think
just
then
slightly changed the movesets? That's all.
But if they made a Marvel versus DC game, they're probably more likely to put Deadpool in there before they put Deathstroke in there anyway, aren't they?
They
Yes.
probably would, actually.
Definitely. No one knows who Deathstroke is.
Anyway, I'm sorry for this little segue. It's a bit of fun, actually. Let us know out there if you want a Marvel versus DC game, and say if you could have 50 characters, 25 either side. Who would you say needs to be in the game as a playable character? You don't have to go that far if you even just wanted to say your mainstay 10 or 20 or whatever, but characters that you were like would have to be in there in a Marvel versus DC game. Let us know. Was there anything else from Gamescom that stood out to you or caught your eye? Or
Didn't you see that beaver fucking game? The timber
the
board?
beaver one?
No,
What?
I saw the snail one.
There was
Played the
one where it's
snail.
like it looks like almost like Age of Empires nearly, that you're like building this city, but you're just beavers building things out of timber. But not that the game looks fucking amazing or anything like that. I mean, it looks fine. It's okay.
Right,
I'm not really looking forward to it, but the commentator sounded like, remember Z Frank on YouTube?
Z Frank?
Yeah, the guy who does
is that the guy with the
nature, Lalim?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh
It
yeah,
sounded
yeah.
like him.
Sorry. Okay, maybe it
I think
was.
he was narrating the game. If he was like narrating that whole game, game of the year.
Let us know if he is, guys, and Adam might pre-order it.
But no,
do you know
apart from Cult of Lamb, no, not really. Not
the game I was most looking forward to.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed, man. I was so disappointed.
What was it?
The Skywalker Saga, Lego Star Wars.
Oh, being delayed.
What the fuck, man? Like, that game was supposed to come out last year. This is what I'm saying. I am totally sympathetic. I'm not like trying to say like, your developers suck, I'm gonna send you death threats.
Well,
like, no, I'm not like that. But as a gamer who was looking forward to it, I'm really disappointed. It got delayed last year. They said it was coming this year. Then they said it's coming again. They don't have a date. They just said spring 2022, and I'm like, oh, man, I'll believe it when I have it in my hand. Like, I was
that
really,
one is a little confusing, though, isn't it? Though I
it's
mean, like,
confusing as fuck. Like,
Because it looks finished.
it looked finished all along.
Yeah.
It always looked fit. Every time they showed it, it looked like a finished thing.
I'm
Right,
wondering
though.
if
I might
they
pick it
have.
up.
Who's making it? Who's making this one?
It's the same crowd, but they have made a new game engine for it.
No, but like, is it 2K or is it EA that's making this game?
Now you have me confused as fuck. It's TT,
Yeah, are TT not owned by
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers?
TT are owned by Warner Brothers.
I'm
yeah.
wondering if they have like a legal dispute that they have to settle.
Oh
Because-
man, I hope not, man.
Because
If that's the only thing holding it back, yeah, I don't know why it's taking. Well, like
I can't see how technically it's delayed for a year and then delayed again, because
yeah, I don't know.
like I know they're building it again, but let's face it,
I
that,
wonder-
that game engine doesn't look that much different than the previous one, does it?
Because they're a UK studio, I wonder, with the way the UK was affected by COVID, did they just have a much tougher time reorganizing their structure and when working and finishing the game? I don't know, like, or did they take a stricter approach to like, okay, guys, we are all taking, here was called the PUP. I don't know what's called everywhere else, but maybe they did take a long period of not working on it. And
I
being
don't
like,
know.
no, guys, look after yourselves, look after your families first. We'll come back to it when we can. I don't know, like,
I don't
It's
know.
not-
It's just yeah, like we understand why Halo was delayed. That was due to the
Backlash.
that was due to actual backlash. Whereas the Skywalker Saga from the get-go, anyone who was a fan of the Lego games was actually excited for it. Like,
Horizon
no-
could also be delayed, partially due to backlash, partially due to trying to just get it ready for the next technology.
yeah.
So those are understandable, but why the fuck would this be delayed?
I was so they announced that they were going to be showing something of Lego Star Wars, and they've been so quiet on this for so long, and I was like, that means we're going to get the release date for this. It's coming like this holiday season as a family fun game, and it was something that myself and Ash were looking forward to playing together. And when it was like spring 2020, I was like, man, Like what? Why, man? Like, okay, if it has to, it has to. It's just disappointing. Like I'm a little gutted because I was like,
that was your Christmas game.
yeah, like but I love the Lego games. Like I don't care what anyone else says. Like they're fun platformer games. They're couch co-op, and they're still couch co-op. Like they're not doing that online thing. They're like, no, it's couch co-op. It's designed to be couch co-op. And there's not a lot of those, and it's just fun. And it's Star Wars music. And I think there'd be something fun about having, like, yes, the 9 movies are problematic. This Disney trilogy is fucking a mess. But I think as just games, playing it in one kind of style.
Do you think it could be?
This could be the most coherent Star Wars saga telling because it's all done in one style.
Do you think it could be worse though than the original? Because do you think the voices could take away from the charm of the original?
Well, something that I've heard, and I don't know if it's true, right?
Yeah.
Because they just haven't talked enough about it. But something that I heard was that they were working on. They said this in an interview 2 years ago, so I don't know if it holds true.
Right.
But they were working on that you could toggle in the menu grunts or voice acting.
Grunts all the way.
So there you go. Like in that sense, then it's the older Lego Star Wars games remade. It's a remake of those games with
the newest ones. Yeah.
The newest ones, right? And I'll be honest, I feel like some of the levels from the Disney movies will be more fun to play than to watch. I really do. And I think, like, if you look at even in that trailer, some of the environments looked amazing. So I think like being on Exegol and stuff could look fucking sick.
I think the gameplay looks like the fact you're cover shooting in a Lego game is class.
Yeah, like, and I think it looks like they've kind of hyped up the lightsaber fights.
The fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin
on Mustafar
just looks so cinematic. Like I was like, what's going on here? This looks amazing.
Yeah, and even just like I got like goosebumps. Now I will say in that trailer at Gamescom the audio mixing was not good, but I got goosebumps when it showed, Jango Fett Slave One in space, and you heard the sound of that bomb, the boom, that bomb, and I was like, oh man, the sound effects are great. I love it.
You must have seen different trailers then. Was this during opening night?
Yeah, this is during the opening night live. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's very, very quick in there.
Okay.
It's like
I was probably
the flying in between
my tea at that point.
The meteors and I thought like the going around at the Tauntaun in on Hoth looked great. Like the actual environments looked really, really good.
That's
I don't know. I
That's a sentence.
What?
On the Tauntaun with Han and Hoth.
yeah. Han on the Tauntaun on Hoth. Han on the Tauntaun on Hoth. Comes a new tongue twister. Yeah, so I'm.
Yeah, it is a pity. I think Nintendo probably has some of the better games coming out this year than either of the other platforms.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly.
Some good stuff coming out on that. Are you concerned at all by the lack of Halo campaign?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think generally online everyone seems to be a bit worried. I'm hoping that it's just like, nah, this shit's so good we don't want to spoil anything. I hope that's the approach.
I would rather that was the approach, but like the first time they showed it at all, which got the backlash, was campaign stuff.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And then they have refused to show anything campaign since then, apart from that one little bit where...
And that's the bit you pay for.
He was talking to... because the multiplayer is going to be free, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I would be worried, like... I would want it to be good, but I would certainly be worried.
Yeah. I heard something where it's like you pay for the game and you're not really getting anything. Like, because it's like, because the campaign isn't really ready or possibly not ready. That's like, you're paying for the campaign. And then what you actually have is the multiplayer and you have to wait for the campaign. That's what I heard. Could just be gossip. Just random bullshit gossip, but like...
Yeah, I would say so. I think they are aiming for
it'll definitely
simultaneous release.
But it is curious.
Yeah, like I would think that they should before December show some of the campaign. Definitely.
It's not going to make much of a difference for myself, just because, like, with Game Pass, you don't feel that sting, right? When you
you're already paying
paying for it, so it's fine. But dropping 60-70 quid. Someone who doesn't have Game Pass, yeah, it's weird that they haven't showed anything.
Yeah. They actually haven't changed the campaign at all. They're just going to run like a social experiment where they're like, oh, we totally fixed it. And then they did the ending, release it. And
Also, everyone's
well,
like, wow, look at all these changes.
yeah, look at, oh my God, it's so amazing.
It's true, they might.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. We'll find out.
Wow, look at this brute's face. It looks so great. It's the same face.
Yeah. They do a side-by-side comparison, but they've just changed the lighting.
Yeah.
And you just
They have
convince
like a
yourself it's
Snapchat
better.
beauty filter.
Yeah. Let us know, guys, if you want to see something of the campaign for Halo Infinite, or if are you worried about Halo Infinite as a result, or are you just pumped now because you really just want the multiplayer anyway, which is free. So anyway, let us know, and let us know
separate too.
Let us know if you're someone as well who pre-ordered, because the pre-orders are sold out already. Like, they went out instantly. So let us know if you are someone out there who either pre-ordered or who wanted to get that Halo themed Xbox Series X. Yeah, let us know. It looked pretty cool.
Pretty cool, didn't it? I like the kind of the 20. I think I might prefer one that was a little bit more minimal and just the
I was the same
gold lines.
As they were shown the design. I was like, oh man, that's the one I want to get.
Yeah.
And then when it finally showed, I was like, it's a bit busy. Actually, I actually prefer the plain one because I like quite a minimalistic design. Yeah. But had it just been like the gold lines running through it, almost like a King Theoden fucking armor, Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
Instantly would have pre-ordered the fuck out of it and went, Ash, forget about getting that for me for Christmas. Forget it. I already got it. Yeah. It's done. But yeah, as it stands, like, if someone likes it, cool. But as it stands, I think I prefer that. I do think it's kind of cool that it comes with Halo Infinite pre-installed into it.
Yeah, that's
kind of cool. It's a cool package for a Halo fan. Anyway, moving on from the Gamescom stuff, we're now going to be getting into some spoiler territory for Ghost of Tsushima Iki Island, which is our next topic that we want to talk about. We're going to talk about the story of it and give our thoughts on the overall experience of it. So if you haven't played that, this is your spoiler warning. We're about to get into that now. And thank you for joining us so far. But if you're staying with us, then thank you for staying with us. And be sure, of course, to always share your thoughts, whether it's down in the comments on YouTube or getting in touch with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take. Let us know your take on Gamescom and on Ghost of Tsushima Iki Island. So how would you guys feel about the story now that you have finished it?
Really
Eric.
Cool. Really cool. Really good expansion. Give me more.
Okay. Good to know.
Yes. Good job, Sucker Punch. I hope, though, with it, because the original campaign is very good, and because the expansion is quite good as well, that they don't fall into the same CD Projekt Red problem.
How do you mean?
What do you mean?
Well, okay, so Sucker Punch, like, the Infamous games are good, but they weren't exactly Ghost of Tsushima loved, right?
No.
Right. And the Witcher games were good, but they weren't exactly Witcher 3 loved.
Yeah.
Right? So then for people, they were like, oh my God, like CD Projekt Red is making Cyberpunk 2077. It's going to be like the best thing ever because they made Witcher 3, and Witcher 3 was so good with its expansions. So that's what I'm hoping, is that it doesn't become like, oh, Sucker Punch is making a new game.
That their next project is a Cyberpunk 2077, is that what you're saying? In terms of like
I don't think
comparison.
I don't think you have to worry about that. There's no Ghost of Tsushima is nowhere loved as Witcher 3. In fact, it's being review bombed right now, so
I had to fucking
aren't as happy about that game as
I saw that on Twitter. Okay, sorry. Before we get into the whole Iki Island thing, then why is this game being review bombed? I can't see any reason.
I think it's being review bombed because of not the game, but Sony's stance and practice. For myself, it's like this was a fine upgrade. It was like 30 quid. That's okay. It's the same price, if not cheaper than Ground Zeroes, and it's more content. Justifiable. Better game too. But if you were to buy the standalone, I was actually quite shocked by the price of it, actually. I was speaking to a mate of mine during the week. He works at Smith's Toys in the games division. And he was he was letting me know about like kind of general customer kind of perception of the whole thing. It's €80
for the director's cut.
Yeah. I was
Okay.
not, I thought it was 70. I didn't think it was 80 quid.
Okay.
But it's not the only one. All the PS5 games now have gone up to 80 quid.
I thought they had said from the get-go that was happening, though.
No, I thought they were going up to 70. I thought it was going to be a 10 quid increase. And it was that, because I remember, wasn't Returnal 70? I think Ratchet
I believe
Clank
so.
was 70. But they've now gone up again. So the general backlash, I think, and why it's being review bombed is the high cost that's going towards it. And it's not that, I've seen with inflation and things like that, games are expensive anyway. There is a justifiable reason as to why the price is going up, but it seemed to have shot up again.
Okay.
And it didn't seem to be a reason for it, in comparison to what Microsoft is doing.
Right.
With
Yeah.
Their games.
Now I hate the game.
So I think that's the reason behind the review bombing and backlash, is a protest towards the increased cost on the consumer end. I don't think it has anything to do with the game.
Well, guys, let me give you my take. Are you ready, motherfuckers? Strap in, big bitches. Listen here. You want to protest the price of this game? Don't buy it. Simple as. Review bombing it is not the way, because all you're doing there is like saying this game sucks, it's shit, and you're actually just hurting the developers, but you are not hurting Sony at all.
Because you're still buying it, so you're
still fucking. Well, no, I think the people who are review bombing it are not.
Oh no, they're not buying it.
They're just dropping bad reviews, so that the game just. What they're trying to do is make the game have such bad reviews that other people don't buy it.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do, right?
Right.
That's. I don't agree with it. I have to be honest. I don't agree with that. Even if you feel no one should buy this game, I don't think review bombing it is actually the way to achieve this, because so many people are review bombing things nowadays that nobody believes the fucking reviews anymore anyway.
No, because
they don't. You can't trust reviews anymore because review bombing has become a fucking trend.
Yeah. So I've seen many people who like if they see essentially any product that's reviewed badly, a lot of people's mindset is that, oh well, the product must be really good then, because they're saying it's bad, and therefore
it's just angered people. So
it's like if the reviews then are really like good for some, oh well, the product must be really bad because they're saying it's really good. So yeah, reviewers just on either end are just not being trusted. So yeah, it's not a good idea to do that.
Yeah, just don't buy it.
And it's,
just don't buy it.
That's simply it. It's like, if you don't agree with it, you don't spend your money on it. But yeah, you don't try and convince others to join your movement necessarily. But it's similar with the whole Activision Blizzard thingy, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't agree with the practices that were happening at Blizzard, don't buy their games. But
simple
don't
as
try and tell other people not to buy them because they might like the game.
They might like the game itself.
They might not necessarily agree with the practices that are happening.
Of course.
But like that new Call of Duty Vanguard, for example. Actually, I thought that kind of looked pretty cool.
And that was shown at Gamescom, and that actually looked really gritty and cool, yeah.
Nice to see Call of Duty go back to World War II. But I was like, when I was watching that, I was like, I wonder how this is going to be, how this is going to perform now with the whole Activision issue,
I get you.
People protesting and stuff like that.
That will probably get review bombed as well out of pure protest. And it's like,
the irony of that is that this is like, it seems as though that this is a very multicultural game. Main character seems to be female led. It's like what you are standing for is going against what you stand for then in that case. But it's like,
I actually think it's an interesting angle that they're focusing on, like, because World War II has been done so many times in first-person shooters, but I think it's an interesting angle. It's like, let's look at the women of World War II, because, like, there was many, 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 many women who fought in World War II.
Yeah, it's a fantastic angle to go with, and
it's a good, interesting new angle.
Tried to do that before, but they're
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, they had I think it's Battlefield 5. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I think the cover of it is definitely a female on the cover.
Oh,
okay.
Battlefield 1, wasn't it? World War 1, wasn't it?
No, that's
No,
a dude. I've
a
seen
dude.
that guy.
That's
Yeah.
definitely a dude. No, I can't remember which one it is, but I know there is a female in it. And
Medal of Honor did the same. Medal of Honor Underground. You played as a French resistance fighter who was female.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
but Battlefield got backlash over it due to the historical accuracy, right? And I think EA's response was just like, look, we obviously don't care about historical accuracy. We're just trying to make more diverse games. And it's just like, well, yeah. Whereas with this, they've found a way to be more diverse with their games in a historical accurate context.
Right. Yeah.
And I think the historical accuracy is important, rather than just trying to, you're playing as any old person during the war, because it gives it more, it gives it that realism, but
depends on the feel of the game,
the real life story of it.
But it does depend on like the feel of the game. So like Vanguard looks like a serious kind of almost
Battlefield
grounded
was trying to be
story. But some of these games like it doesn't fucking matter if this ever in any way possibly happened. Like it just doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, no, but my point was that Battlefield was trying to achieve what they're doing right now.
Okay.
And what Activision managed to do was do it right, essentially.
Right. Yeah.
Because yes, there were Soviet fighters that were women, and they fucking kicked ass. I think the Nazis, when they were going into Russia, they realized that one of the cities would be abandoned, and because all the soldiers were off fighting somewhere else, and it wasn't just the women, but yeah, a huge number of women took up arms because the Soviets actually did train their women to fight, and the Nazis got fucked.
So take that.
Yeah, I'd be interested to check out that game and that campaign, but also interested to see what way the general reception is going to be, just because of the stance against Activision and Blizzard, which is a rightful stance, but it's just, at the same time, the people making this game, they could be genuinely great people. This
particular game,
it's not really going to damage Activision if you don't buy this game.
Yeah, look, it's all complicated, and it will be interesting to see how things play out. But I want to touch on that review bomb thing just for a moment, because from my understanding, again, if you disagree with the price, don't buy it, absolutely. Maybe wait for it to go on sale if you really want it. But I feel that Ghost of Tsushima, and you can see it in Iki Island as well, everything has just been made with absolute love and passion by artists, genuine artists. And I think to just review bomb it to say, fuck you, this game sucks, because I don't want to pay 80 quid for it. But if it was cheaper, I would buy it. Then it's fuck off. That's...
It's not a review.
That's not a review. It's just fucking, I don't know, being a dick about it or something. But in terms of Iki Island itself and the content, what were some of the standout moments?
Getting actually background onto your father and your relationship with your father, and how, spoiler alert, we're doing spoilers. That's maybe we don't have to do warning.
We're doing spoilers. Jump straight into it.
The idea of Kazumasa dying. Yeah. Where he died and why he died, and the relationship. Then you have to sort of the fact that when you go to Iki Island, you have to then, you're not building your legend, you're repairing the relationship between the Sakai family and the people of Iki. That's what you're doing with all the acts, which is really cool.
It's quite surprising, isn't it, seeing that death? I don't know why I always assumed that it was in a snowy environment.
Yeah, I always thought it was at his home or something.
I always thought it was too. I think initially that probably was the vision, but they were able to design this in a way that but it appears here.
And the eagle is great. She's barely in the game, but her presence is memorable because of the role she plays.
Well, it's that whole I suppose as Adam was saying. Yeah, I suppose what Adam was saying last week, the whole kind of Arkham style thing, where it's her voice is playing in your head as you do stuff, and just the little random occurrences where she comes in and talks to you. It's that thing of I think we're teasing at it last week, but you fall or something, just in game and gameplay, and it's like, look how you fall, Jin Sakai, and all that. You're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like, was that scripted? Like,
Yeah, it's weird. It's
I
weird
did
how
that on my
they
own accord.
implemented it.
Yeah.
I totally saw what you were talking about, Chris. Is like the unexpected last mission. I don't particularly like how that was handled, and I think it should have had at least one more mission, maybe after that.
Yeah,
because none of the missions. Generally, I find that with the main game is that you'd have most of the map kind of cleared through mission, right? You kind of go from here to here to here, and then we actually only got maybe like halfway down, and now it's like the end of the game, and it's like, wow, that's really weird.
Yeah, I was surprised at that, and I think that's a fair criticism. Is like it doesn't feel like you've reached the end of the campaign before you know it's over.
Yeah.
As much as I enjoyed the entire campaign, that was the thing. It was like, no, I want more. Like, it wasn't like a thing of like, oh, just get this over with or something. It was like, I want more of this. But I have to say that I think it was like the penultimate mission where you find out that Tenzo was the guy who killed your father.
Yeah.
But during that, as you're killing all the Mongols, the waves and waves of Mongols, the fucking music, man.
Oh yeah, it was
amazing.
On that battlefield. It was just really, really, great.
Oh, so good. Like I geeked out so much. How'd you feel about the fact that Tenzo was actually the guy, and he knew all along because he figured out who you were early on, but he was the one who killed your father.
I mean, the minute I saw him, man, it's like, oh, you have a name and a voice and you're a character. Yeah, you killed my dad, didn't you?
Really? You saw it coming?
Yeah, I thought I did. He was old. And he had a name. He was a character. Of course he killed that.
That's really interesting. Adam, did you see that coming?
I didn't see it coming, but I didn't quite like how that particular reveal. Just because I would prefer if perhaps the person who killed your dad was actually a nobody and not someone that has been, essentially he's a hero now. Like he's like a main character hero.
Right.
It would have been more powerful if it was actually just a regular person that just killed him, I think.
Yeah, it's just I kind of like the like even the main game has a lot of this kind of operatic drama about it, where you know what I mean, like the people clash over their honor and their families and their duties and stuff. So I quite like that, like the guy who was helping you all along and that you were helping. And that I quite liked this character, and then to find out that he was the guy who actually killed your father, and now there's a sudden there's a want for revenge, but then there's also a come to understanding that my father was actually the one in the wrong, maybe in this. Which I thought was really cool.
They could have still explored that, I think, even if he wasn't the person.
I get you.
Yeah, I just think that he probably would have a much greater status amongst his group if he's the guy who killed the butcher.
I get what you're saying.
You know?
Yeah, that they could have built a legend around him almost. Yeah. But I wonder, is that something that people even know? Like, maybe it's not something that he brags about. Because it looked like it was only him there at that moment.
Yeah.
Or very few people there in the flashback. Did you guys like Tenzo as a character?
I didn't mind him. He felt like, one of the guys off on mainland even. I liked him. I liked his voice actor too. I thought he felt authentic and genuine. I didn't particularly like the
Fune.
Yeah,
I didn't like her either.
It's like, you sound
strange,
not Japanese.
Yeah. Not even a little bit.
No, not at all.
I agree with that. I didn't like her either.
Yeah. I think my favorite part of the game, was the mythic quest for your father. Not necessarily the actual mission.
Okay,
I didn't really like the mission, but I thought it was fucking cool, and the fact that it's the last one I've done now, and they're telling stories about the butcher, and you've done all these mythic quests before, and the way they're building up these characters and making them to be larger than life. And now hearing that your own father is held
has descended into legend.
Yeah. I just thought that was kind of surprising, and I wonder if some point will there be a mythic quest where they talk about the ghost.
You see, this is the thing. Like, I think you are playing the origin story of a mythic quest. That's what you're playing. You know what I mean? Like, you are playing. Like, when Jin finally dies, everything that the ghost did will descend into legend. This mysterious ghost that wandered the islands of Japan and it defeated the Mongols single-handedly, and
The items like his mask or something like that.
yeah, like I mean, it would be pretty cool if at some point they like say this is a trilogy,
Yeah.
and say part 2 is actually the last time we play as Jin,
Yeah,
and in part 3
he dies from a golf club.
and in part 3 or whatever, we play as someone, and Jin's items are the mythic quests, and you can collect the kind of items that used to belong to the ghost, and you could build yourself up as the new ghost, as someone who's like living in the kind of legacy of Jin Sakai. Like that would be a pretty cool implementation, I think.
Yeah.
Of mythic quests moving forward. But obviously, you don't want to do that until you still want to play as Jin, guys. Come on.
Definitely. Yeah.
No, come off the start. Like he's gonna go into a room full of like Japanese beggars, and he just dies instantly, and we're gonna give it. It's gonna be great.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
No, they're not.
I don't think they're gonna do that. I actually preferred the other mythic quest.
Oh, it's a better quest. Yeah. Definitely.
But I get what you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
but I just really liked the whole. I don't know. I got like when I was in there, I was like, now I feel like I'm in like an Uncharted game or something. Like the crazy pirate and the lost treasure and the caves and the glowing water was beautiful.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was nice.
What makes it glow?
Oh, baggy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's when
It's
you.
so cool
I think it's
'cause-
when you disturb it. It's kind of fluorescent and it'll glow in the water. Yeah.
But like for them, then it's just like magical or something.
Yep. Yeah.
It's so cool.
But
I love it.
altogether, even the way the game started, that part of the game felt a bit Uncharted 4, didn't it?
Yeah,
Well,
it
with
did.
the boat. Yeah, the boat's sinking, and then you're washed up onto the oak and you're
And
stranded.
the-
I like
yeah,
that you have to
come
find your
out.
horse.
Yeah.
There's a mission to get your horse back and everything.
And the title, even just the title when Iki Island came up, it looked amazing. It looked
Yeah.
so good. Like I had to screenshot that. There were so many screenshots at the beginning I had to take because I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
with everything.
Beautiful section of the game.
Yeah, I really liked the mission with Kenji. I thought was cool.
Yeah, that was
Right.
Nice to
that
bring
was
back
good.
Kenji.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I actually thought, believe it or not, I knew it was going to be someone we knew, right? The ghost of Iki, because it's like, well, it has to be someone who knows me because they're like kind of taking, they're taking Jin's kind of name or mantle in almost.
Yeah.
But it also seems because they were saying, oh, we bring them food and we bring them water and everything. I was like, oh, this person's scamming them. I was reminded of, and I thought it was going to be this person. Do you remember on the base game, there's a side quest where there's a guy who's pretending to be a samurai,
Oh yeah.
and all
yeah.
the women are like looking after him,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they actually know, and they're only pretending that they don't know.
But you can kill
And-
him, I think.
Yeah, you see, I forgot. Like, I always let him go. You see, and I would have laughed so fucking hard if he had like gone off to Iki Island and started doing the same thing there because he was thinking he was safe, but he took your name. It'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? No, can you kill him? Does he not surrender as soon as you draw your sword in the duel? Like it,
Yeah, but
it
you can-
sets
you
up for
can
an epic duel.
I think you should,
And-
though. Yeah.
Oh, you can
Shoot him with an arrow and kills him. Yeah.
Well, could they not go Meryl on it and go, most people didn't do that, okay?
I don't know.
But I get it.
He's a dishonorable man.
I saw Kenji and it was funny, but in my head I was going, I bet you it's this a fucking guy again. The guy-
That's a great
Let run
story
away.
arc for Kenji, I thought.
Yeah, it's
he
cool.
was one of my least favorite characters on the mainland because he was just such a nuisance and annoyance. But to see his, full arc being fulfilled here, I thought was really, really cool.
I like him. He's a swindler and he's I hate you.
He's
but-
that guy, isn't he? From what's that film? Jet Li's, Fearless. Do you remember Fearless?
Yeah.
Do you remember the beggar guy? Yeah, it's he's that kind of character, isn't he?
He is. And he'll stick around more than you want him to. Like, I suppose nowadays, if he was around nowadays, this Kenji character, he'd be the guy that if you're on holidays and you're like sitting outdoors eating something, he'd come up try sell you stuff.
Yeah.
That's what Kenji is, but he'd be endearing enough that you'd nearly fucking want to buy something off him. Be like, go on, you rascal, go on, take the money, fuck off. So he's kind of cool that way. Was there any other like side questy stuff that like stood out to you?
There was one where I found it's a hidden quest. So there's 5 hidden quests on the island you have to do to kind of 100% the game.
Okay.
Like they won't show up at all. You'll never get anything to say they've done it. It's just as long as you have an ending cutscene, essentially, you've done it, right? So it'll never come up with a title, and it'll never say it's complete. There's one where I found a random house. I kind of go, oh, what's in this house? I got off. When I went in, there was all the Gyozen's pamphlets, the white pamphlets with the writing on it.
Yeah.
And a woman looking at them, and she was trying to decipher, remember the stories of the Ghosts of Legend. So then you just sit down and tell her a story, and then that's one of the hidden. And I really liked it because I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It implements the legend story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like even Jin talks about Io. They start off the sentence, then they cut to black, and then he ends the story because like as if he told the whole thing, and then you leave. And I was like, that's kind of cool.
See, that's another one where like the Legends mode is you playing a mythic quest, isn't it?
Kind of.
You're playing what someone else is saying. That's why you have those supernatural abilities and stuff. I fucking love that. It's so cool. There was one where I went to I loved all the little random occurrences of like the flashes he was getting because he was poisoned. And there was one where there was a cat sanctuary that I went to. I think I was talking about this last week as well. But I couldn't say what it was really. But he got there and then got a flash of all the dead foxes.
Right.
Oh wow.
From that side quest. In the base game where the Mongolians are murdering all the foxes, which was one of my favorite quests.
Yeah.
And I was like, does this happen to everyone? Like,
No,
what
I
if I
didn't get
never?
that.
I was like, what if I never did that quest? Or like, what if I didn't give a shit about that quest? Like, if this it just felt like in that moment. I know it's not, but it felt like it was tailored to me. It was like, oh, you bastards! Like that fucking riled me up. And then there was another point. I was at a cat sanctuary, and while I literally as soon as it went like play the flute, as soon as he got down to do it, a dog jumped out and attacked me.
Well, I think that happened to me.
And I was surrounded by dogs, and these shamans had come with dogs. Basically, they had been waiting to ambush. And I was like, this is really cool. So some of the little quiet stuff can.
Oh yeah, no, I think I did get that one, but I didn't get the foxes one. No. And I do wonder about because isn't it in the main game, you can go to that island basically in Act 2?
Yeah,
apparently.
So I wonder if a lot of the side missions and stuff like that aren't actually available until a certain part of the game. So are you hopping back and forth between the two or something like that? Because
I feel like you'd have to.
The dialogue seems to be very much like the Khan is dead.
Yeah.
So I wonder how that plays out for someone.
Yeah.
Playing it for the
it
first
feels
time.
very much end game content.
Yeah, it does.
Like epilogue, like an epilogue to the main story, because it's like a little bit more of it, but also like there's stuff about Jin's past, but there's also stuff like Jin being haunted by some of the stuff that happened. Like I love the little flashes with is it Ryozo? Is that his name?
Yep.
His friend, the Ronin. Like there was a couple of times where I'd see a straw hat, and then he would just be there.
Yeah.
And he'd be looking up, and Jin would be like, "You're not real," and everything. And I was so reminded of like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, or no, War of the Planet of the Apes. Whenever Caesar would see Koba,
Yeah.
it was really like that. It was like haunted by his friend who he killed because they disagreed on the way things should be. Like I was like, this is amazing. Or there was a beheaded person.
Oh, I did see that one. Yeah.
Did you see that one? And you get a flash then of Taka.
Yeah, that was
and
good.
He's like traumatized by it. Oh, it's so good. Like I love that. That's why I wish I knew when the thing was going to end, because as soon as it does, those flashes stop.
There's a lot. I think it needed to be a little bit longer with the main quests. There's plenty to do in it with the side quests and the sanctuaries and lighthouses and all that kind of stuff. But for the main quest, it definitely needs to be maybe an extra 2 missions, I think.
Yeah,
just to give it a good length.
I think you needed to be
and
very
to help
aware.
You explore the island more.
Yeah, but I think you need to be very aware that this is the one where I'm going to kill the eagle.
Well, I was aware.
Okay.
That we were going to kill the eagle on that mission, because I talked about bringing her to the site where they killed Kazumasa, his father's. I was like,
they say that mid-mission though, don't they?
I don't think they say it before you start the mission.
Yeah.
They just say, "Oh, we think we know where the eagle is."
Yeah, we know.
I was like,
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And I was like, going into that mission, I was like, okay, so this is going to be the turning point where we get captured and someone's going to die. It's going to go bad. this is that point now, or like the tension between Jin and Tenzo is going to rile up even more. Like I figured a Taka scene essentially had to happen before we ever get to kill the eagle, and it didn't really happen, which is okay. But I felt like in the beats of the narrative,
Yeah,
it needed something, and it just kind of missed it.
it also felt a bit like I too felt that was like a turning point where they felt they were after the eagle, when in actual fact it's like the eagle has poisoned Jin to knowing that he would infiltrate the rebels. He will basically bring the rebels to her, and it felt like the hot gates a bit from 300 going through those tunnels, that the Mongolians would actually have this trap. They would defeat you there and then, and you'd have to learn a new tactic or something like that, learn a new way of fighting the Mongolians and come back at it. But when you get to the end, it just felt a bit weird that it's just the eagle and just the other guy. And it's like, where's your army? Like, why would you be here on your own?
thought I was running into a trap here. Like, where is the trap?
It's a bit strange.
I
would
agree.
have preferred to really have chased her down with a new tactic, a new technique, and she is on her own. And then you have the 1-to-1. It's just a bit odd how it played out.
She's like the fight?
Fight's good, yeah.
That's good.
Fucked me up 3 times, but
I fought her in Kazumasa's armor, but I was like, yeah.
So did I.
That's cool. That's cool. The scenery was beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. Well, the whole thing is stunning. But even running through those chasms and like even the flowers that dangle down and stuff like was fucking
it was
beautiful.
Really nice. Yeah. But it is a pity that it's just it's just weird how it's just there's this part of the map and that part of the map that haven't been discovered yet, essentially, unless you've decided to run around in free roam. But in terms of mission wise, I feel like there's a mission there and a mission there missing.
Yeah, I get you. I one of the things I really admire about Ghost of Tsushima is that some of the side quests won't have a happy ending. Like I remember one in the main game where you meet a father and he's looking for his son or something like that. Yeah. And you run off. Anyway, it ends in like the person you're looking for after hanging themselves or something like that. Like it doesn't end well, and it's just that's life. You have to move on. There's nothing you could have done or something like that. There's one of those quests on Iki Island where a monk has gone missing. Did you do this one? Well, Eric, you obviously have 100%.
Yes, yeah.
And but then a woman says that her husband has gone missing too.
Oh yes, and you have to choose between the two.
And you have to choose which one to save. And I figured she was like, "No, please save them both." And he was like, "I will do my best." I was like, "Okay, so if I do this right, I could probably save them both." But you can't. One of them will die if you save one.
No matter
instantly.
what you do.
Yeah, like they're too far away from each other. As soon as you attack one camp, the other camp comes away and kill their hostage. And to me, it was a really like kind of gutting but refreshing way of like just going, look at, you can't save everyone. You know, I was like, if this was a Spider-Man game, it would be mission failed if any of them died. I'd have to save every hostage.
Yeah.
But in this scenario, it was just like, no, you have to make a choice, and then you have to live with the choice. And I thought it was really, really well done. Like the writing in general, I think is really solid.
Yeah, I feel like as well they're kind of using this as a playground to explore what they can do next. Because you could see that being a main core of the next game, let's say, where who you save might have consequences of who will be with you at the end.
Yeah.
You know, because with the base game, it was like you help certain people and they're all with you at the very end to attack the Khan. So you could have like kind of a suicide mission kind of moment from Mass Effect 2,
I would
but like
love
in Ghost
that.
of Tsushima. Like,
yeah, and
where
I
you
would
have to
love
actually
that,
try
like,
and build up a reputation with someone. Like maybe you didn't do enough missions for them to help them. Maybe you didn't. If you fulfilled their full quest, maybe they are more your friend now than another person.
Yeah, and maybe like their quests have options. Like, do you remember like Lady Masako at one point fights you in, the base game, and like maybe in a similar scenario in the sequel with allies, it's like a case of if you can't resolve that issue, you'll actually end up killing that character, and they won't be with you.
Yeah, there'll have be disputes and stuff. Yeah,
you know, like that would be amazing. I would love like if there's anything that they could add to it, the playing with the relationships around the characters would be
because they could do
fantastic.
a cool thing with like. Obviously, there's the tension with, like fighting alongside a Ronin, because you don't class yourself as one, even though you technically are. And then there's the tension between the samurai because they don't see you as honorable and stuff like that. So you'd be like balancing, like they both know that they need you to help fight off the invasion, but they don't believe in your methods, you don't believe in theirs, and it's like tension to them within the group. Could have a cool kind of Tony Stark, Captain America kind of vibe happening there, where they have to try and build a relationship through the gameplay, through the actions you take.
Yeah,
it could be cool.
I think that'd be really great. Did you guys check out the extra content, the digital artwork and the commentary?
I did not know they were there. Where do I find them?
Okay. So if you're on the base game, and not even before you click into the game, if you're just on your menu and you highlight that icon for the game and you push options.
Okay.
And you go down to game version where you could jump between PS4 or PS5.
Right.
You will also see Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut bonus content. You go into that.
I already have that stuff.
Yeah, you go into it though.
Right.
No, like it's a menu.
It's a separate game, is it?
Artwork you can look at, and there's a video you can look at. So the video is about 45 minutes long, and it's the game's creative director having a conversation with two Japanese historians. And they have a conversation about some of the stuff that's included in the game and whether or not it's historically accurate or not, or just like it's just interesting that you use that for the period that you're in, and then the creative director gets to, say why they did certain things. Like, there's some things that they got accurate, and there's obviously things that are like highly romanticized because they're also, it's not just a historical era game, it's also about Japanese cinema or something. And what do they call it? A hamburger samurai movie. It was like, because it's like, other people, other people make spaghetti westerns,
right?
So it was like, we were kind of looking at this as like a hamburger samurai movie. Like if Americans were to make an Akira Kurosawa movie, this is what it looks like almost.
That's that doesn't sound quite as romantic as spaghetti western. It just it sounds like an insult.
Yeah, it kind of does. It came off like he wasn't saying that that's how they actually class it, but he was like, if you want to, follow that kind of naming scheme, that's one way you could look at it, maybe. But there's a lot of interesting information in that. Especially,
I hate how that's handled. Then,
yeah, it's not. The layout is terrible because for me to get from one to the other, I had to. So I went into one and then I couldn't go back without exiting out of the app to get back into it.
Yeah.
To get to the other one.
Why isn't that in the game? Like
silly. I don't know.
I've seen that before though. That interview and stuff and that artwork.
Oh, had you?
Because it was already there to download. That's not part of the.
I thought it was included with the director's cut.
It could have been if you didn't get it, but I think because we pre-ordered it, we got it.
Right? Oh, well, it was my first time seeing it. I thought. Because I remember saying that the director's cut comes with it. So, and the artwork then is stunning. The artwork is well worth looking at. I wish I could screenshot it. You're not allowed to screenshot it because I would love to. Yeah, because I would love to share the fuck out of it. But it is stunning.
Or set them as that's an omission. I think is being able to set them as a wallpaper on the PlayStation.
Yeah, because there's so many of them where you're like, oh, I would use that. Yeah. Like they look gorgeous, look so good.
Like, what's the point in giving you digital artwork if you can't fucking do anything with it?
Yeah, all you can do is look at it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like I would in that case, I would prefer a physical art book or something.
Absolutely,
that was available to get.
A coffee book,
and
coffee table book. Yeah,
I would get that. Because the art is amazing, absolutely amazing. Anything else that we want to talk about in terms of Iki Island before we finish up today's discussion?
The riddles,
which are I'm sure people know, or if you don't, this might be something you've missed. They are PlayStation game references, aren't they?
Yeah.
Each one is tied to one of three games: God of War, the 2018 version, Bloodborne. What was the third?
Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus. That's right.
As we were talking about it last week, Eric. I think
the statues. Are you like, what do you do with them?
Yeah, you were talking about the scrolls, and I was saying it sounds like those poems have like it tells you what to do, like, or at least there's a reference at least of what to do. And I just refused to look up. I just wanted to see, could I do it?
I haven't even tried it yet, but I was blown away when you sent that picture of the God of War reference, which I hadn't seen yet, and I was like, Wait, what?
Well, the Bloodborne one is the first one I came across, and I
Yeah, same.
couldn't understand what the fuck. And then I came across the Shadow of Colossus one, and I still couldn't understand what the fuck. And once I got to the God of War one, or the Statue of Ash, or Shrine of Ash, or whatever it's called, and saw the handprint, I was like, that's God of War. And then I saw the axe. That's 100% God of War. And then I read the thing, and it's like Shrine of Ash, and then it mentions boy, it mentions stranger. It's like, this is clearly referencing God of War. So then I went fast travel back to the other ones, and when I saw the Colossus one, I was like, and I'm reading it, and it's talking about the Wanderer and Piercing Stone and things like that. It's like, this is Shadow of Colossus. So it's only the third one I didn't understand. And Chris, you said it was Bloodborne, and then it's only when I seen it, then I was like, oh, this makes sense.
Like, I didn't Google how to do it, but I ended up Googling just to see how many are there, because I wasn't even sure at that time if it was related to the statues or not. I just saw your picture of like the tree. So I was like, oh, is there just like hidden PlayStation references all over the island? I was like, I want to know how many there are so I can go looking for them. But then it was just 3 statues.
It's a pity there isn't 4 statues. Because
why?
They're based off I'm pretty sure they're based off outfits you can get for the Ghosts in Legend, right? But there's 4 classes in Legends.
Oh.
And one of them is the armor.
It's Horizon.
Is Horizon, yeah. So there's no Horizon statue, and I wish there was.
Oh, yeah,
that would just complete it.
Oh, I forgot about that. So wait, is the Bloodborne and Shadow Colossus and God of War, are they all outfits in Legends mode?
You get armor sets.
Yes.
Is it only in Legends though? I think you can get them in the main game.
You can get them in the main game, yeah. When you complete the shrine, that's what you get.
Yeah.
Or the statue.
Because I seen someone share.
Oh, that's your reward. Because I was about to say, I was like, oh, do you wear them? Is that part of the riddle? But
I seen a screenshot of someone, actually PlayStation themselves, which was a spoiler actually. They also shared the handprint with the axe in it, and they were like, oh, I wonder what this is. But they're wearing the God of War armor set that you get. Because you can see
that's kind of spoilery.
It is. It's 100% spoilery, and it's like, this is kind of stupid. But I don't know how to fucking solve it. So I have a feeling it's you have to wear a particular armor set.
Okay.
And do a certain thing. But I don't know what the certain thing is. Like, I could probably. I want
to try to figure it out too. I don't want to look it up.
I have a feeling, like, as I'm working through the God of War one, I have a feeling I have the armor set down.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I do.
Which armor are you wearing?
The Traveler one. You let me know, Eric, if I'm correct. Okay?
No, because if I do that, it'd be spoiler for Chris. Chris wants to figure it out too.
I'm okay with you letting him know.
No, because the problem is, like,
you're wrong there.
I'm going. It's not Traveler set with the.
Not the Traveler set. No.
The alternative one with that looks like basically Kratos' armor. It's not that
the bandit armor, like.
Kinda, yeah.
No,
it's not that. Okay, because I like the thing is like I'm going through a huge combination of the sets, right,
mm-hmm.
And then that's all fine, but supposedly you would have to do a specific action, and I don't know what the action is.
You have to wear armor, and then you have to do a particular action.
I don't know what the action is, and I don't know where exactly in the vicinity of the fucking shrine are you supposed to do that.
I wonder, does it have something to do with, like...
You want to know that, actually?
No. Not yet. No. I wonder, does it have something to do with, like... I have no idea. I haven't even read all the riddles yet. I have to get around to these statues. But I wonder, like, Shadow of the Colossus, you spend most of the game riding on horseback, right? I wonder, do you have to do something on a horse there? And then with, like, God of War, he throws the axe. Do you maybe have to, like, throw one of your weapons, like a kunai, or doesn't... There's an option to throw something. I don't know. But do you have to kind of imitate actions almost from those games?
Well,
I don't
the
know
Shadow
what
of
Bloodborne
Colossus
would be,
one
though.
says something about appearing as a ghost through fog or something like that, having...
Oh, smoke bomb, right?
Making no shadow. So probably, yeah. I mean, I initially, because your flutes can change the weather, so I initially tried creating the fog by playing the tune on your flute.
Oh, yeah,
you can change the weather. But I'm like, oh no, I'm still making a shadow, so maybe smoke bomb is the right way to go. But
yeah, because
I just don't know the armor set.
Yeah, but that's how you'd make a shadow, isn't it? You'd be a shadow in the fog, so Shadow of the Colossus.
Well, I think it said the two
must be smoke bomb.
Not have a shadow, like eliminate your shadow, but
oh, okay.
And then with the God of War one, it says basically show me your strength of your swing or something like that. So I feel like
it's got to be swinging your weapon then,
yeah,
right?
But I just thought,
with the right armor.
Yeah, with the right armor set.
Okay.
Just read the Shadow of the Colossus one again there.
Now or
Right now, yeah. Just say it again. The general gist of it again.
Well, general gist is, oh fuck, I can't remember the whole thing, but it sounded like as though you had to walk as a ghost through mist or something like that.
Right.
So that there is no shadow or something.
So you gotta wear the ghost armor.
Probably.
And then do the
I
smoke
did
bomb?
do that though. Maybe I haven't done the ghost. I haven't done the smoke bomb thing, but I have tried. I've worn the ghost armor. I've tried creating the fog, and I tried doing it at nighttime where there's no shadow. And that didn't do anything. So it's probably not that.
We'll get there. Guys, don't let us know what it is, but if you're watching us on YouTube, jump down into the comments and just let us know if you've done it. Just see how many people have actually done it. Would be really interesting.
Like it's kind of it's a bit. I don't want to be like looking it up because there's like this kind of shit I just fucking love is trying to It's like it's the riddles from Arkham.
From Arkham.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They're very clever riddles.
There's so many Batman vibes in this thing, isn't there? So overall, were you happy? Are you happy with Iki Island as expansion? Do you think it's a good expansion? Before I finish,
so out of all the expansions I've played from, like, I mean, I think it's a better expansion than, let's say, the Final 7 remake one.
Yeah, the intermission one.
Yeah, there's a lot more content in it. I think it's more worth it than that, for example. I can't remember the last expansion that I think is as good as this. Maybe some of the Witcher ones, maybe.
Right, Eric, how about you?
Yeah, fantastic. Really good expansion. It's a type of thing that, again, is I mean, I suppose whatever your opinion is on the pricing of it, but it's one of those things. But this goes to show that the developers have a love for the game and are generous enough to give to the players and appreciate the players enough that they're going to give them something worth not just money but time to play and love.
Yeah, I think
very good.
I think you're right. There's a lot of great content here. There's a lot of love here, and it does feel like an extension of the base game. It doesn't feel like some weird out of place thing. It actually feels like a very necessary story experience. I love all the flashbacks with the father and stuff. I think are great. But now we'd love to know what you guys think. So if you're watching this on YouTube, again, jump into the comments. Let us know your thoughts on Ghost of Tsushima's Iki Island expansion. You can go full spoiler on that, but just don't spoil those riddles until we can figure them out. And also, there might be other people who still haven't figured them out. And let us know your favorite moments from that new story. What's your favorite thing about the Iki Island stuff? You can also let us know all your thoughts on Gamescom. And if you listen to this on audio platforms, you can touch base with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on everything we brought up today. If you enjoyed this on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and click that notification bell. And also follow us on all of our social media, guys. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening. We'll be back to talk about more gaming topics next time. Bye-bye.